Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Mike Brown here with Remax back in Toronto. Tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on, tariffs off. Just terrifying, really. It's paralyzing the economy. Well, if there's a silver lining, the good news is that the Bank of Canada has further reduced its policy rate, prime lending. Anyway, the rate is down again to 2.75 from its lofty height of 5. So that is good news for people who have variable rate mortgages and home equity lines of credit. And let's face it, it's quite likely, depending on the degree of these tariffs and when they do come in, that rate could have to be pulled down even further to support the economy, perhaps up until the time that the tariffs start to cause inflation.
I don't even know if I'm coming or going here.
Which may cause the rate to have to go up again. So there's a great degree of uncertainty here. And it begs the question, who is the person who is wanting to participate in this real estate market here in Toronto and southwestern Ontario? Well, if you're a buyer, I think the ball is firmly in your court. This is a buyer's market. You have the power. The inventory, as we know at this time of year, is generally on the rise, and I think that's evident if you look at the numbers. You can see there's a continual trend of the inventory rising for each inventory period. And if you're a buyer, I guess my advice to you is as follows. Number one, make sure that you don't maximize or overextend yourself when you're taking out that mortgage. Number two, do try and maximize your down payment. You want to try and keep those monthly costs well within the range of your budget and probably leave yourself some room in the future for any type of instability or insecurity you may have in your income or when it comes to your employment situation. And probably most importantly, make sure that you're buying this property with the intention of living there for a minimum of 5 years.
There's no place like home.
If you incorporate these three simple little facts, I think it's safe to say that it's unlikely you're going to see equity erosion in your purchase. Therefore, your lifestyle will have improved and hopefully your pocketbook as well. Well, if you're a seller, it's a challenging market. As I said, the inventory is rising. So you have to know what your immediate competition is in the neighborhood that you live when you're selling, as well as the overall inventory levels. And probably most importantly, you've got to find yourself a knowledgeable, experienced agent. An agent with experience both from the past and in this current real estate environment. And hopefully you're choosing somebody with some integrity.
I mean, that would be nice.
So we have gotten to that point again. It's time for the inventory story. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you a little tale about integrity, experience, and professionalism that I encountered myself just this past week with a buyer of mine who's been basically evaluating the market for the past 30 days.
How's that inventory coming?
So story time. I have a buyer who's identified a particular type of property in a specific area of the city of Toronto, and we've been looking at the property as it comes out on the market. And we noticed one property about 3 weeks ago that had just undergone a 10% price adjustment. So at that point, it was well within the affordability range of my client. We decided to go take a look at it. And we sort of earmarked it as definitely one that had potential. And my advice to the client was to sit and wait to see how the market reacted to the adjusted sale price. You know, perhaps somebody was going to rush to it right away and pay close or over asking. And they decided, yes, that would be the conservative approach they wanted to take. So we sat back on the property until about 4 or 5 days ago. Still available. The price adjustment had now taken effect for the better part of 10 days. And we decided to get a second look at it with the intention of likely submitting an offer yesterday or the first day back after the March break vacation. I book the appointment and I get a text from the agent saying that the property has sold conditionally.
What the f*** is wrong with you?
So I said to the agent by text, why was I not notified that you had an offer registered? The agent replied, well, you just booked your appointment this morning. Well, no, in fact, I actually was in the property about 12 days ago, the day that you price adjusted it. And the agent responded saying, well, it was price adjusted. It wasn't priced for multiple offer. There was no direction from the seller to notify all of the buyer pool or the interested parties who had seen the property. So we went ahead and negotiated one-on-one.
What the actual f***?
Listen, people, having a knowledgeable, experienced agent with integrity is so important right now. It was a simple click of a button for that listing agent to notify anybody who had shown the property from the time it was initially listed right through to the time that it was price adjusted and up until the time that the offer was registered on the property. They never gave the market a chance to compete for this listing. Now, maybe competition would not have arisen, but I can guarantee in this situation it would have, because I would have told my buyer to submit their best offer on that property, which potentially could have been the winning bid or caused the other buyer to improve their offer, which would have been a benefit to the seller.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So question to you, all the would-be and current sellers on the market, is it a benefit to you to have your agent notify everybody who's seen your property up until that first offer gets registered that there is a registered offer?
It's a no-brainer.
Of course it is. There's absolutely zero detriment to that being the case. The unfortunate thing is one of two things here. Either the agent didn't know that or know how to do it, or the worst case scenario, they sold it themselves.
Truth is not always a pleasant thing.
So they were trying to avoid competition, and they're dealing with a seller who just doesn't know any better. People, you're going to be part of the commission-paying process, whether you're the buyer or the seller. You should get value for the amount of money that's being charged for commission. Find yourself an experienced, knowledgeable agent with integrity. It's going to pay dividends, for sure. That's my rant for today. And until the next episode, this is Mike Brown uncovering, the real state of real estate here in the GTA and Southwestern Ontario.